What's up, everyone?
Hey!
I'm Paul.
I'm Jason.
And there's no Jeremy today, unfortunately. It's like the old days. It's like the old days. And we're playing Spyro, Reignited Trilogy. Why are you moving my screen, Jason?
Because I want to be able to see what's going on.
Are you playing?
Well, I want to see what's going on.
Okay. I mean, are you playing?
We're playing.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
This is a co-op game?
This is
hey, everybody. They made Spyro Reignited Trilogy a co-op game.
Everybody, Paul's being mean to me.
Yeah. I feel bad for you. We all have a lot of sympathy.
So we did how many worlds? How far are we along on this game?
Okay, so we have done Artisan's World, Peacekeeper's World, Magic Crafter's World, and I've done 3 of the levels inside Magic Crafters. Game total, we're at 44%, so we're about halfway through.
Okay. All right.
So, but now we're getting into the parts of the game that I haven't played through recently, and I don't remember as well. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to 100% what we're doing going forward. But I'm going to give it the old college try, which doesn't say a lot because I didn't try very hard in college.
Yeah.
Oh, why am I even doing this? High Caves. Have I been to High Caves? I have not been to High Caves. That's where we're going.
So I heard something happened to the Wii.
Oh, yeah, the Wii Shop channel dies today. Pour one out for the Wii.
Did they say that it was numbers or?
What do you mean?
Like why they got rid of it?
It's just old. It's
I don't
2
know.
generations old now.
Well, people are still using it.
Here's the thing, Jason. Do you remember that the Wii came out in 2006? 12 years ago.
It was 2006.
2006.
Gosh, I haven't.
Almost 13 years
There
ago.
hasn't been a good Nintendo system since high school.
There are 13-year-olds that were born after the Wii came
And
out.
all they know is this weird
Not really.
shit that Nintendo puts out.
I don't know why you hate the Switch so much. The Switch
I
is
hate
great.
all of it since the
Okay,
Wii.
you will enjoy the Switch. You
Yeah,
will.
but
You
I'll
just
never
don't. You
play
just
it
don't
the way-
understand it yet.
I'll never play it like a Game Boy.
No, I think you will. So there's a lot of people that only play the Switch in portable mode.
Those people don't have dope 65 inches.
Well, the Switch also doesn't look great on a 65-inch TV. It looks okay, depending on the game, but...
If I'm punching Jeremy in Super Smash Brothers on a 65-inch, it'll look great.
I don't know. Jeremy's probably be punching you. Oh, okay. I'm still alive. I heard he came in 4th at a Smash tournament.
Yeah, Jeremy went to a Smash tournament. He's not here today,
Yeah.
but he got 4th place in some Smash tournament in Columbus.
Absent in our Discord, present in our hearts, or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, he came 4th in the Smash tournament. So you know what that tells me? I could come in 4th in the Smash tournament because I've beaten Jeremy
man.
in Smash.
If you say.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You never know.
You go ahead and say it.
You never know. Hey, I beat you. I beat you pretty consistently now.
I never claimed I would make get 4th in a Smash competition.
Well, I never did either until Jeremy did it. That's giving me hope. Let me have these dreams, Jason.
All right.
Don't crush my dreams. My dreams that will I'll never even try because I won't go to a Smash tournament. Oh, okay. Shit, I almost died. Okay, what do we have next?
So what's David Cage doing nowadays?
Why don't you just introduce us? You're asking me these questions. You have the stories in front of you. I'm just going to provide color commentary.
Yeah, you know more about it.
You be the play-by-play. I'll become... Oh,
I
my
don't
God.
know the-
Oh, my God. I died.
You don't want that. I don't know the play-by-play. That's why I'm bringing him up to you.
Okay. Anyway, it was announced... what was it? I guess it was announced today.
Yeah.
That Quantic Dream is going multi-platform. You know Quantic Dream is obviously David Cage.
So explain to me why... What are your thoughts on David Cage?
I think my thoughts on David Cage are pretty abundantly clear at this point. I don't think he writes good stories. I don't think he's a good writer. I think he comes up with maybe decent ideas. I think he can...
His last 2 games weren't even good ideas, though. Like the
Well-
Beyond Two Souls, was it?
No, Detroit had a decent concept.
It's not
but
a new. It's not an interesting.
It wasn't a new or a novel, but it's an interesting concept, even if it's not new or novel. But yeah, it was not poor. It was not well executed. He writes like a 13-year-old, if I'm honest. So hey, Xbox and Switch owners, you can now enjoy that kind of writing style. If you ever wondered what it would be like to play a game made by a high school fanfic writer, well, You're in luck.
Does he? It was only on Sony before, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that. I mean, like Sony obviously doesn't own Quantic Dream.
Why is it called Quantic Dream?
Oh,
What
I
does
don't
that
know.
mean? What does Quantic mean? Did he make up a
I
word?
don't know. Possible. He's French, so maybe
Is
it
he?
means something in French that we don't understand. Or you speak French though. You tell me.
It's Quantic? I don't think that's a thing. Dream's English. I'm solid about that.
Dream is English.
Yeah, so it'd be weird.
We nailed that one.
It'd be strange if it was a French word next to a.
I don't know. Honestly, I never thought about it.
It'd be like saying a bibliotech card. Right? It wouldn't make any fucking sense.
Biblioteca.
Uh,
I don't know. But what I find interesting about that is that it basically started with China. They invested money into it, and that NetEase, sorry, it's a Chinese company, and apparently one of their stipulations is going to go multi-platform because they just had a ban on consoles in China until recently. So I wonder if
what?
that's
How come?
whole thing about corrupting the youth. So they banned consoles. You know, there were no Nintendo consoles in China. Okay, there were no any consoles in China throughout like all of the 2000s and 90s, even I think.
Okay.
So Nintendo partnered with a Chinese company to release the Nintendo 64, and it was called the iQue. Lowercase I, uppercase Q, U, E.
I don't get it.
Yeah. Anyway, it was the thing, and what it was, it actually came out like years after the Nintendo 64.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those things. Did you ever go to those hotels that had the Nintendo 64 controllers plugged into the TV?
No.
And then you could rent. Oh, you never went to those?
No.
They'd have like a Nintendo 64 controller plugged into a TV, and you could rent Nintendo 64 games on your hotel TV or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah,
No,
they're
I
really
never-
expensive.
No, I never saw that.
Anyway, it was that same kind of thing. It was the whole console was basically just a controller that you plugged into the TV. And it had Nintendo games. They're all translated Chinese, and they were distributed by this Chinese company because foreign companies weren't allowed to sell consoles in China. So I assume that's part of it. So like mobile gaming and PC gaming is much bigger in China. So I assume that's why they have to go multi-platforms, because they have Chinese investors who want their want their players to be able to play the game.
Mm. Speaking of Sony,
Yeah.
we're getting a storage upgrade.
Yeah, for PS Plus users. Yeah.
Am I a PS Plus user?
I mean, you'd almost have to be,
Okay.
because you can't play online most games.
Yeah, then I
otherwise.
am. That's right. They make me pay like $60 or something every year.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Oh, it's not that bad. It's not like having to pay for Switch Online. Which, to be fair, is a lot cheaper, but
How much-
also doesn't even work.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you play Smash Online, it's like super laggy all the time, and it's just they have online save storage for your save games, which is what like Sony's 100 gigabytes now that they're giving you is for save games. Basically, they save them in the cloud so you can move from one console to the next. So Nintendo has that too. You have to pay for the service to get that storage, but it's only on certain games. So it's really stupid. It just follows Nintendo does everything online badly, but
But they're making us a Metroid 4 now, but for reals this time.
they are making Metroid 4.
Tell us what happened. Tell us about it.
Well, Nintendo released this video. So Nintendo announced Metroid Prime 4, not Metroid 4, Metroid Prime 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was E3 2017, right? And they said, hey, we're working on Metroid Prime 4 and we want to share more. But we never saw anything other than just like a logo. And then it's been a year and a half now, and we haven't heard anything else about the game. So they posted a video earlier this week about, it said development update about Metroid Prime 4 or whatever. And they were basically like, yeah, we stopped development and because it wasn't going the way we thought it would. And so we started over. So that whole last year and a half, just pretend it didn't happen. Now we're actually starting development. And but in good news, so I think they were developing it internally at Nintendo Studio, and now they've handed it over to Retro Studios, who developed Metroid Prime 1 through 3.
Yay! You like
Yeah.
those?
I do. So I'm a big fan of Metroid Prime 1. I like Metroid Prime 3. It's different, but I kind of like what they did. The odd one out is I don't much care for Metroid Prime 2. So this will go on the long list of unpopular gaming opinions. Paul's unpopular gaming opinions. We should start a segment of the show about it. But
we should.
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Metroid Prime 2. It felt laborious to me. Anyway, you'd have to play it to get it, but I don't know. I didn't much care for it. It was okay, but like, I felt like Metroid Prime 1 was definitely the peak, so I don't know what to expect from a Metroid Prime 4 from Retro. I almost feel like yeah, it's great to have Metro or Retro. It's great to have Retro doing it because they're a good developer. They developed obviously the Metroid Prime series, but they also developed the new Donkey Kong Country games. Yeah. So Donkey Kong Country Returns and Donkey Kong Country Donkey Kong Country Returns Tropical Freeze. Both great games. So they're good developers. But it almost feels like one of those things like Halo. Like when Halo went from Bungie to 343.
Yeah.
Like, I think I like Halo 4 better than any of the first three
Halo
Halos.
4 is my favorite and everybody hates it.
Yeah, I like it. I didn't play Halo 5, to be fair, but Halo 4 I much preferred to the first three Halo games. So I was like, it would have been interesting to see what another studio could do.
I mean, I do like 2 a whole lot, but I guess I felt more in 4.
Yeah. To me, Halo 1 through 3, they just always felt like they weren't done. And my understanding is with Halo 2, like that's the case. They didn't finish it. Like it ended on kind of a cliffhanger because they didn't have enough time to finish it before it had to ship.
I guess I thought it was a pretty solid cliffhanger.
I don't know. But even with Halo 1 and 3, I was just like, I don't know. It feels like there's a bigger story in here, and I only got part of it.
Well, I did read all the novels, so it makes it a little easier.
Yeah, and that's what people say, but I'm like, I don't want to read other stuff. No, I do have a hard time reading.
You should listen to the audiobook. Everybody should listen to the audiobook of Halo Fall of Reach. It's just so good.
There's so much other content out there, Jason.
Yeah, but most of it isn't. Oh, actually, it's on Netflix. Did you know that?
What?
There's a Halo Fall of Reach on Netflix.
Like a movie?
Yeah, it's like a movie.
No, I didn't know that.
It's really good because it's just the book.
Yeah.
And the book is good.
Well, there you go. I don't know. It's just, I just never got into the lore as much as other people did.
Twitch will no longer run ads for other streamers. So that means that if you're on Twitch, you will not be told to go to Twitch. Right?
Indeed.
It knows that you are already twitching.
Yes. No, that's not what it means.
Oh.
What it really is they were running ads for streamers, particularly big streamers, on top of other people's streams. So like, let's say somebody came across Don't Call Me Pretentious stream on twitch.tv/Don't Call Me Pretentious. You should follow. There could be an ad showing up on our stream for Ninja, right? And like, go watch Ninja stream or Pokimane stream or whoever's, right? And I say Ninja and Pokimane because they were the ones that were in the story. It was their streams who showed up as ads in other people's streams. And like, I don't know. This is one of those things where like, all right, we're new to Twitch. Obviously, we haven't been doing it for all that long. We don't have a lot of followers or anything like that. There's nobody in the chat, so this is great. Good. Thanks, Twitch.
Hey.
No. So we haven't been doing a lot, but this is one of the things I find interesting because I feel like in the YouTube space, as toxic as YouTube is in so many ways, in the YouTube space, I feel like YouTube creators, they're pretty open about being like doing collaborations and shouting each other out and all that stuff. So it's kind of weird for that not to be the case in I think I'm supposed to go here. So it's kind of weird for that not to be the case in on Twitch, but apparently it's like people are the way they do Twitch, they like the algorithm makes it more competitive or something like that. Maybe that's why we don't get any views. Maybe we need to buy ads on other people's streams.
Well, but we can't do that on Twitch now.
Yeah, they're not doing it anymore. So we'll miss that window.
But we can do ads on YouTube channels for our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we could. You know, I looked into doing Facebook ads, and like, it's weird because they give you credit, and they're like, "Hey, spend $15 or whatever to get a Facebook ad for this post or whatever." And so I was like, all right, I'll claim it. I'll just see what happens, right? And I go to it, and it literally said, okay, we're going to take your $15 or whatever. And if I'd done a bigger ad buy, it would have taken my real money. And it literally said, like, hey, your ad may not run. Because, like, it had an image, or it said there was too much text for the image. And I was like, what? I just had a title next to a link.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, there's too much text, so your ad may not run. I was like, so you're going to take my money and then probably not, and possibly not even run my ad? I don't like your ad business, Facebook.
Yeah. I'd be willing to try it if we did it and then we got some more peeps. Then I'd be down.
Well, and that's what I was thinking, but then, then it was like, this may not run. I was like, well, I'm not going to waste all this if this is going to run. So we'll talk about it. I got to think about like a way to maybe come up with like a post that we can promote. And try to get more people. Oh, look at this little fucker. Look at you. I'm gonna. Oh, you son of a bitch. Hold on. How do I get to him? Oh, dang it. Oh my god, and I'm almost dead now.
You're gonna be okay.
How do? No, I'm on my last life.
I believe in you. You can do it. You're a big brave dog. Speaking of Facebook,
Oh yeah,
they're watching us.
the lead story.
Oh man! So if something happened to kids, they touch kids or something.
Oh wow, that's dark.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to Elon Musk Facebook. Oh, did you like that?
That was a good shout out. That was a good callback. I appreciated that. Yeah, so Facebook was doing this thing. So Facebook doesn't need any bad PR right now. And that's exactly what they got, because it turns out they were running this app that they were advertising on Instagram to 13 to 17-year-olds. They were specifically targeting 13 to 17-year-olds. And they said, hey, download this app and you can get a $20 gift card, right? So you go download this app, and it's essentially a VPN. You know what a VPN is.
Yeah.
But for anybody out there who doesn't know what a VPN is, it's what's called a virtual private network, right? And what that means is it's like your Wi-Fi network is a private network. So a VPN is like you're logging into someone else's Wi-Fi, and that means they can see anything you do on the internet. So they were like, hey, we'll give you a $20 gift card if you install this app that lets us see everything you do on the internet. And so people did it, and it was for a $20 gift card. But the problem was they got caught because they were doing it in a shady way. Because especially on iOS, and even on Google, on the Android, the Play Store, they won't let you like have apps that do that. They'll let you have VPN apps, but you can't collect the data. Essentially, they won't approve those for use on the App Store. And so, man, how do I? Oh, what the heck? Hold on, I'm gonna have to. Because I have to get over here. Sorry, everyone. I just took a break in the middle of this, but I got to focus here. Okay, so anyway. So they won't allow those apps on their app store. So in order for Facebook to get around this, they utilize this thing that's called an enterprise certificate. And this lets companies basically... Look, she gave him a kiss. Ooh. And it gives them this really hot breath. So I can kill these guys now. Woo! Because otherwise I couldn't kill them.
Gotcha.
It basically it's for companies to run these apps that are
Bravo.
100% complete. Run these apps that are basically like they don't have to go on the App Store. You can just run them on your.
I swore we already did this level.
No.
Last time.
They all look kind of the same.
Oh, okay.
If I'm honest. Because we're still in the same world. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked again.
Sorry.
This certificate is meant for like inside of a company. You can make your own apps that people inside your company use, and your employees install this certificate so that they can install your app that's not on the App Store, right? We use it where we work, right?
Right.
And but you're not supposed to use that for apps that go out to the public. They have a specific service for apps that go out to the public, where Apple reviews the app to make sure you're not doing anything sketchy with it, right? And then they only approve like 10,000 people to install it to. And that's how like you beta test an app, right? So, but Apple obviously wouldn't have approved an app that let you spy on teenagers. So Facebook, to get around that, they basically gave these kids, and anybody who did it, like adults could have done it too, but they were specifically targeting teenagers. They basically told them how to install their Facebook app or enterprise certificate or whatever in this super complicated way to get around this system and use it in a way it's not supposed to. So apparently Apple found out about it, called them on their shit, and not only banned the app, right? They revoked it, so like did all that, but they actually revoked Facebook's enterprise certificate. And what that means is, so all those apps that Facebook uses internally, like their own employees can't even use Facebook apps on their iPhones anymore because their enterprise certificate was revoked. And it's like, woo, that was a big step. Apple basically just shut them down. And then it came out that Google was doing the exact same thing. That Google also had an app that did the same thing, that created a VPN and did all this tracking and stuff like that. They didn't disclose how much they were paying, but they were also doing the same thing. They were using an enterprise certificate. So I'm interested to see if Apple bans Google's enterprise certificate based on that. So that's that. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm a little speechless about it. Well, I mean, I honestly, I'm not that surprised, I guess.
Well, isn't that sad though? That like you hear about like Facebook like spying on kids' phones. Mm-hmm. Like literally, I mean, they could have been getting screen grabs and keystrokes and everything, right? And then you're just like, oh, I'm not surprised. Like that's a problem. Facebook has a problem. Oh, and to be honest, Google doing it too.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, man, that's not good.
But they're not going to lose their enterprise, are they?
Well, I don't know. We haven't seen anything about it yet, so we'll see. But and you know what's interesting about this too is Apple has really positioned itself as being like pro privacy, and like privacy is like a human right and all this stuff. And they actually took out an ad at CES earlier this month. They took like a big billboard ad right next to where the CES convention was. And for anybody that doesn't know, CES is the Consumer Electronics Show. It's what used to be E3, actually. The first E3 was actually spawned out of CES.
Oh, I didn't realize that at all.
Yeah.
Do you remember G4?
Yeah, I do remember
Is G4 still a thing?
No.
Is Adam Sessler still a thing?
Yeah, he was.
How is Adam Sessler still? I'm making a joke about John Oliver reference. Anyway, what's
Adam Sessler's great.
I love Adam Sessler.
After G4, he went on to Revision 3, and he had a show on Revision 3, and then he went off to do his own thing, and I haven't heard about that recently.
Yeah, whatever happened to Morgan Webb? She was on an episode of like it was something very much like Jerry Springer.
I think it was something similar. She did something afterwards, and then like that went away, and then I haven't heard from her since then either.
I liked them both. They were great.
She got married to this super rich guy.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Maybe she just said, "Fuck this. I don't need to work anymore." I don't think so though. I just don't know what she's doing.
I think she was on Attack of the Show for a minute. Am I wrong about that? I never watched it.
I don't think so. She was always on. What was it called?
X Games.
X-Play. X-Play. Yeah, with Adam Sessler. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. One of them wasn't original. One of them, I can't remember which one it was. If it was Morgan or Adam.
What do you mean original?
Like, originally it was one of them and somebody else.
Oh,
and then the other one came later.
I think it was Sessler.
I think so too. I think he started with it. And I think Morgan was later.
Because he actually has really old one, like from really old games. He was doing reviews.
Yeah. Man, now you got me thinking. I gotta look up and see what Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb are doing.
G4. I do. I want to know what they're doing. I liked them. They were a big part of my summer.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what happened to G4?
No.
It got bought by Esquire, and it became the Esquire Network.
Lame. Do they do video game shit?
No, kind of. So they were going to do original programming, and then they were like, oh, actually, we can't afford to do original programming. So they just started hosting, like syndicated shows, like Scrubs and stuff like that. Yeah. And then they started showing all old G4 shows, too. So, like, Attack of the Show and all that stuff. But they were all just reruns.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of, I think it just went away. So like there was a while though where it was Esquire Network, which of course is the magazine, right? But it was doing literally 0 original shows. It was doing G4 reruns and like sitcoms and movies. And I was like, what is the point of this channel? Okay, so anyway, back to the point though, or back to the story. So Apple has this whole thing about being privacy focused, and
oh yeah, there's a bug.
yeah, and so this is why they're saying like this is
The only good bug is a dead bug.
this is this is ostensibly why they got so mad at Facebook and revoked their enterprise certificates, because they were violating users' privacy. But yeah, then there was a bug that was, so they released their group FaceTime feature this week, which lets you have basically voice or group video calls. And it turned out that there was a bug that if you called someone, you could hear their microphone and see what their webcam was seeing without them answering the call.
Oh,
by just doing something simple. And Apple got bit by this, and so they had to like turn off group FaceTime on the server side. But then it came out today that people warned them that they had actually gotten warnings from people saying like that, hey, we found this bug.
Were they day 0 warnings?
I don't know. Well, anyway, so they were like, but they didn't fix it, and so now the New York, I think Attorney General is investigating them. See if they committed some issues here with people's privacy. So the privacy company, the one privacy-focused tech company we had, was letting people spy on your calls. To be fair, though, theirs was a bug, not deliberate.
Yeah. And then they keep...
And as a software developer, that shit happens.
And they didn't tell the FBI how to hack phones at one time. Remember
That's
when,
right. That's right.
Remember when everyone gave a shit about that?
Yeah, and they never caved. Not only did they not cave, they doubled down. And so if you have a modern iPhone, it will... So the way the FBI ended up getting around it, the FBI finally came out and was like, oh, we don't actually need your help anymore. We figured out how to crack it anyway. And it was somewhat like somebody developed this tool that you plugged into the lightning port of the phone, and that helped them get into the bypass the encryption, right? Or bypass the passcode. And so Apple figured that out. So in iOS 12 now, if you plug anything into the lightning port, like without unlocking it, it like locks the phone completely. Like if you try to unlock it with something plugged into the lightning port and you get like the passcode wrong a certain number of times, it just like completely locks the device. So they doubled down on it. And
I get it.
no, you know, this is one of those things that someone, you know, recently, like I just mentioned in our last episode, you know, I just bought a Pixel 3. I go back and forth with this all the time. Like, I love Apple's services. I love their commitment to privacy, but it just fucking doesn't work so often anymore. And for a company that, like, I first started using Apple products in college in 2008, I got the aluminum MacBook. And part of the reason I loved it was like, oh, it just worked. Everything was great, right? And then now it's just like, I had iMessage turned on. This is one of the things that frustrated me. I normally keep iMessage turned off because I use Android phones at the same time as iPhones, and so those things don't work together. And somehow I was using my iPhone, and iMessage just got turned back on for my number, but not on my phone. So anybody with an iPhone was texting me. It was sending as an iMessage, and I didn't have iMessage turned on my iPhone.
Yeah, and you didn't get them?
I just wasn't getting any text messages from anyone with an iPhone.
I had that happen to me, yeah.
And I was like, what? And I was like, I never turned this on. What the hell? And then I turned it off, and then I still wasn't getting text messages.
Yeah. And it's a late bug, too. It was on the iPhone 7.
Oh, it's ever since iMessage has been a thing. That's why I haven't used iMessage for years, because it's a great service, but like it's just, it causes me more headaches than it does.
Yeah. I've actually sent messages for work that didn't make it, and I had to prove that I sent them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, my boss sent me a message the other day, and I was like, I totally never got it. And then he opened his phone and it said, yeah, message not delivered. And I was like, yeah, see? So. Oh. Wait, have I done everything in here? I feel like I may have done everything in here. How many? Am I missing any levels? I'm at exactly 50%, so I feel like I'm good. All right, so we're moving on. We're moving on to the next overworld.
Woo!
Oh, what the hell? Screw you, bud. How do I get past here? Wait, have I done Alpine Ridge? Yeah, I did Alpine Ridge.
Are the enemies different? Are they more menacing?
What?
The next world.
Honestly, don't remember. I haven't played the next world since I was a kid. I don't remember what it is. I'm sure I'll remember it when I see it. Only reason I remember this and have gone through this so quickly is because I just played it recently. On the YouTube channel, on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/pretentious. All right, so we're going in the balloon. We're going to see what's next. Wait, Blowhard. That's what I just did, right? Yeah. His name is Blowhard. That was the boss.
Huh.
The bosses in this game aren't very difficult.
I didn't notice him to be a boss.
Exactly.
I don't remember that.
The bosses aren't very good in this game.
Have you ever played Psychonauts? I never played it.
I have not. Well, I tried playing it on PC, but I never finished it.
I think we should. How far did you get? Maybe we should play that sometime.
We could play it sometime.
How far did you get?
Not very far.
There we go. Perfect. We can play Psychonauts because Psychonauts 2 is coming.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
We can prepare.
Man, it's a lot of stuff going on.
Yep.
All right.
Political Corner.
Is that the name? I felt like it was Let's Get Political.
I like it.
Let's
I like it.
get political.
We'll iron it.
Political.
We'll iron it out.
Whatever. We're going to get political now. Hey, the government shutdown's over.
Woo!
Big victory.
Woo,
for
woo,
the
woo!
big victory for the wall.
Yeah.
We're getting the wall. Trump is strong, great leader. He got everything he wanted. Democrats caved because they're weak soy boys.
All right, call your shot. I want you to call. What do you think is going to happen? No one knows what's going to happen, but what do you think is going to happen?
Okay. Two likely scenarios.
Long term with the current state of things. What's going to happen?
Long term, Donald Trump is probably not going to be president. That's what I say.
You mean he's not going to be an 8-year president?
He's not going to finish his he's not going to finish his first term.
You don't think he'll finish his first term?
Yeah, I can't back that. You're right. Republicans would never impeach.
You get to pick. You get to just what do you think is going to happen?
No, you're right. He'll I don't know.
I don't think he will make his first. I don't think he'll finish his first.
I think I don't see enough Republicans going against him.
I think he's going to discover. I've said this on this channel before. I think he's going to discover that his health isn't what it used to be, and he needs to not be president.
Well, if he resigns, that's what. No, so even that, I feel like he would never admit it. He's too egotistical to admit something like that if it were true, and even if it's not true.
I bet he would to get out of jail.
Yeah, maybe.
I got a feeling it's real bad. I bet whatever he did is awful. I bet it's fucking awful, and we're all gonna be like, "Oh my god, I had no idea." Because it's possible we could all go, "Oh, well, that's a letdown," but
yeah.
But I bet it's gonna be really exciting whatever he did. Because he's never not entertained. I mean, I bet whatever he did was awful and hurt plenty of people.
Oh, I died. Oh. Okay.
We're gonna find out he's the villain from the first season of True Detective. He was behind it all.
Oh, we never figured out who the villain was, did we?
There's so much. There's so much.
So frustrating.
Nah, but yeah, it's all gonna be tied up to Donald Trump.
Bring back Matthew and Woody.
No, man. No. That was the whole point. Was the loose ends. It was.
I know.
I was watching the thing about it from Wisecrack. Watch Wisecrack.
Season 3 is great though. Season 3 is great so far. I like Marshall.
I like season 2. I don't know why I was such a bitch about it. I really liked it.
It was okay. I didn't hate it. But
it was fine.
It was okay.
I had never seen what's his name play a role like that, and it was cool.
Vince Vaughn?
Yeah, it was good.
See, that was the thing. That was supposed to be the Renaissance, and it wasn't.
I liked it, the Renaissance.
Yeah, well, because you remember that's what they said about season 1. It was the McConaissance.
Oh.
Matthew McConaughey Renaissance.
No, I get it. I didn't know that.
Because at the same time, he also did a bunch of like critically loved movies and stuff like that.
So the air traffic controllers tried to strike, or did strike, or threatened to strike.
Well, they threatened to strike. They said it was getting bad. I had an article for our podcast last week, and I ended up not getting to it. But they were basically saying like, "Hey, shit's getting real bad, guys," and we're worried that people are going to start walking out, and then planes are going to start falling out of the sky. And the day that the shutdown ended, actually that morning, there were so many call-ins, people sick, air traffic controllers, that one of the major airports, I forget which one it was. I forget if it was like LAX or if it was one of the ones in New York City. Anyway, one of the biggest airports in the country, they had to ground all flights for like several hours because they didn't have enough air traffic controllers. Because they were all working unpaid, essentially.
Oh, yeah, no, I heard about this. Yeah.
So that, I think that finally called his bluff. Okay, so if we're calling our shots long term, though.
Yeah, long term.
Well, okay. Super long term. I think Donald Trump will finish his first term, but he won't do a second term. Either he'll lose or he'll get primaried or both or whatever. But
I don't think that.
But in terms of the government shutdowns, that's shorter term.
Sure.
Because we're going to be back here in 3 weeks. That's the thing.
Oh,
the government shutdown only ended until February 15th.
What do you think is going to happen in 3 weeks?
We're going to have that national emergency. That's such a huge crisis. It was planned 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
He's going to declare a national emergency so he can take military funding to build his wall.
Yeah.
And
to defy Congress.
To defy Congress, yeah.
The president can veto things. He can't do things because even though Congress said no, that is not what's supposed to happen. I don't know how this is confusing to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, particularly the people that always talked about the tyrannical Obama and executive overreach.
Ooh.
You know, suddenly not so worried about it anymore.
No,
weird how that works.
Yeah.
No, you know, yeah. I don't know. But
I 1,000% think he's going to do it.
Oh, he's going to declare a national emergency. The question is, are we going to default on our debt? Because this is a thing Lindsey Graham is pushing now. Good old Lindsey Graham, your boy Lindsey Graham.
Uh-huh.
He's saying, hey, you know what would be a great way? Taking government workers and the FAA hostage didn't work.
Yeah.
That didn't work for us. So you know what we're going to do the next time in 3 weeks? We're going to take them hostage again.
Yeah.
We're also going to take the entire country and possibly the world economy hostage. And we're going to threaten to not raise the debt ceiling.
Unless they get the wall?
Unless they get money for the wall.
Well, that would be something.
That would be catastrophic.
That'd be neat.
Because you know what? Okay, for anybody out there who's unaware, what happens if you don't increase the debt ceiling?
You default on your loans.
The United States government defaults on its loans.
And it diminishes the value of the dollar.
Instantly,
yeah.
The value of the dollar plummets.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Like China could just take us to world court, right? Because they hold a lot of our debt, right? They can just take us to court and demand something in return for their unpaid debts.
Mm-hmm.
The credit rating of the United States is going to just dissolve.
Alexander Hamilton will turn over in his grave.
I mean, it's bad. If the U.S. government defaults on its debts, it's bad. That's bad news. It's never happened before. And so it's kind of hard to say what'll happen, but nobody is excited about it, except for Lindsey Graham, apparently. How do you feel about that? Your boy Lindsey.
I want better from him. He's so charming. If he were a good guy, he'd be like the coolest good guy.
I know. He would be like our South Carolina. Like he's got that accent. He'd be like, oh, he's just the cool dude, the cool lib from South Carolina.
He could be the role model for so many young Southern men, liberals.
Yes, because he would be like the old school Southern Democrats without the racism, right? And you'd be like, oh, how dope would that be right now?
That would be so cool.
I would love to have that, except he's not. He's just a proto-fascist, and that's sad. I'm with you. That's very sad. I don't like it. I'm disappointed in Lindsey. You remember when he called Donald Trump a racist and a sexist?
Yeah, I know, and that didn't really impress me. I told you what impressed me is whenever he was talking about the supermajority, and he was like that. It's unbelievable that they've nuked it because he doesn't want the Senate to turn into the House, and I appreciate that. It made me feel like he had respect for the office and. Maybe not.
How'd that work out for you?
I don't know. I mean, maybe he's just trying to change the nature of the office.
Then he loved it so much. Then he told Democrats that they better hope they never get back in power because then he's going to screw them over a judicial nominee accused of rape.
This will be the last time they have power.
What, Republicans?
The religious right.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't count on it.
I'm counting on it.
I wouldn't count on it. I know you have the whole thing you've read about the demographics and all that stuff. I just.
Oh no, it's not even about that. I just don't think. I like to think everybody's smart enough, and I'm gonna throw a fit if I'm wrong, but I think everyone's smart enough to know that this doesn't need to happen again.
I'm not doing that right now.
I think everybody knows this shouldn't happen again. So if we get out of this one, I do think that we're gonna have a solid amount of time to like make this not happen again. I think everybody's gonna take voting more seriously. I do. I think everybody's gonna take voting more seriously, especially like, you know, between 20 and 40. I do.
You ready to go to the Misty Bog?
Yes.
We're going to the Misty Bog, everyone. This will probably be the last word we do for tonight.
Sweet.
Before we're done tonight. No Jeremy. It's really sad. I miss him.
I miss him. I always miss Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
If you're listening, you're
so,
probably not.
You're so handsome.
Oh, I wasn't going to go there,
He's my
but
little
I do
brother.
love you. See, that's the thing. When you say it,
Yeah.
I feel like you're only calling him handsome because he's your brother and it reflects that you're handsome.
No, but you actually do know that he's handsome, so I am not wrong.
I know, but it feels conceited.
It's not conceited. He's just a cute little boy.
I know, but it's still, from you, it feels disingenuous.
No.
I'm just kidding. He's a cute boy. Cute boy, Jeremy.
He's very handsome. He's very upright. He used to not
Upright?
Yeah, he used to not cut his hair, and he'd wear like backwards hats, like Turtle from Entourage or whatever.
Oh.
I don't know what you call those people, but he's one of those people.
Ooh. I don't like it when you say those people.
I will tell you, they wear hats that look funny.
Hey, I wear hats.
Yeah, but they don't look funny. But you don't wear them funny.
Okay, well that's because I can't pull it off.
And
I would if I could. Have you seen me wear my snapbacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me, but I wear them anyway because that's all you can buy anymore. Okay, no, seriously. You know the other hats that I wear? Like that aren't the snapbacks with the flat bills?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they're called now? Like they used to just be called baseball hats or hats, right?
Yeah.
You know what they're called now?
What?
They're called dad hats.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I wear dad hats. That's where I am in my life.
So who is?
And I'm not a dad.
Who is Howard Schultz, and why should I care? I'm not caring.
You got this at a bad point. Me complaining about bad dad hats. I have to wear dad hats to cover my bald spot. And now you're asking me about Howard Schultz.
Yeah, tell me about Howard Schultz.
So he's the CEO of Starbucks.
Yay!
Is that a good thing?
Sure for him.
Hooray, shitty coffee.
Tell us about it.
So he says that he's running for president.
Boo.
As an independent.
Yay!
Is that good?
Boo.
Why is that good?
It's not good.
Oh, fuck, I'm dead.
I don't know. It's cool that he's running as independent, but it sucks that it's going to take all the votes away from the center, right?
Well, mostly from liberals. When was the last time you saw?
That's what I said. The center.
Oh, touche. Yes, moderate Democrats are the center, and because the Republican Party is all right wingers now.
No, I mean like anyone. I don't know how you're anything but a liberal, and I get it. A lot of them sound stupid, but Jesus, they're. I mean, just look at them. Look at the other side. I don't know. I shouldn't disparage everybody. I'm sorry, everybody, but you're voting wrong. I don't know what to do about you.
There was a time when I understood it, obviously, because I was conservative. But there was a time, even after I was a liberal, where I could understand it.
I like teams.
But I'm not there anymore.
I like teams.
It's so bad.
I like teams. I like teasing other states about being other states. I like saying that person's a Georgian. I think it's cute because it doesn't really mean anything because we're all American, right?
Yeah, but other people take it super serial.
Not everybody.
I didn't say everybody. I said other people.
Not Texans.
What?
Get it? Ah, see what I did there?
No.
I was saying, you said that other people don't like it when you do that, and I was like, not Texans.
Oh, okay.
Get it? It's like the.
It's like the only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Or no, it's like I can't stand two things in this world, right?
Oh,
people
yeah,
who
yeah.
are intolerant of other people's cultures.
And the Dutch.
And the Dutch.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so give me the background. Give me some.
So Howard Schultz is the CEO of Starbucks, and
Yeah.
he's one of these like fucking bullshit rich dude liberals, where he's like, yeah, man, when those two black guys got kicked out of the Starbucks because they were just sitting there, and someone called the cops on them. You remember that story last year? So he was like, no, this isn't the way we're supposed to do it, and he created mandatory, implicit bias training and all that stuff for his company, and he's like, I'm one of those good guys and I have empathy and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, but also you pay your employees shit wages and everything like that, so spare me, dickhole.
What does he pay him?
Well, I mean, like probably minimum wage in a lot of places, which is not a very good minimum wage.
Fuck that. I don't care.
But
no,
he also...
I'm sorry. We're going to argue now. I think that's fine. I think that's fine that it's minimum wage. I think minimum wage should be higher. But I mean, what do you expect from him? He has a company where they serve people coffee.
Okay.
I mean, if you
overpriced coffee.
Yes, and if
the guy owned a football or owned a basketball team. He owned the Seattle SuperSonics.
I know.
He could pay his employees more.
This is your extra, Paul. I'm telling you. Like I'm for if I feel that if they're not making enough money making a minimum wage job,
right,
then they should be eligible for like welfare so they can make enough money to be fine.
Well, okay. So then the rest of us are paying taxes to subsidize his ass getting extra profits.
Yeah, we're drinking his coffee though,
which we pay for.
Yeah,
we overpay for. Okay,
it's just it's just how I feel about it, man.
And you're wrong about it. So that's fine. But that's fine.
Fair enough.
Okay, but here's the thing that really pisses me off, and so nothing's moving on screen because I got to read this quote. Okay. He says...
Well, just for the record, I'd equally be fine with just raising the minimum wage.
Yeah, we should raise the minimum wage, but also this guy opposes raising the minimum wage, so fuck him.
He opposes it?
He opposes lots of things. Okay, so listen to this. This was the quote that he gave when he started running. He says, quote, "We have a broken political system with both parties basically in business to preserve their own ideology without a recognition and responsibility to represent the interests of the American people. Republicans and Democrats alike, who no longer see themselves as part of the far extreme of the far right or the far left, are looking for a home. The word independent for me is simply a designation on the ballot. I feel if I ran as a Democrat, I would have to be disingenuous and say things that I don't believe because the party has shifted so far to the left. When I hear people espousing free government-paid college, free government-paid health care, and a free government job for everyone, on top of a $21 trillion debt, the question is, how are we paying for all this and not bankrupting the country? It's as big of a false narrative as the wall. Doesn't someone have to speak the truth about what we can afford while maintaining a deep level of compassion and empathy for the American people?" This pisses me off a lot.
Give me the numbers, honey. I'm telling you. Like, here's the thing.
Okay.
Just let me respond to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm going to go off.
I know you are. If he knew for sure that all that was true, right? If he knew that the numbers weren't there, you couldn't afford it, and then he told me those numbers, like he just said, "Hey, look, we make this much, it would cost this much. We don't have it. Even if we taxed it 60%, we couldn't have it." I think if he did that for me, right, I would feel differently than I do. But him just telling me we can't afford it, or someone telling me that we just can't afford 10,000 immigrants, then it seems sketch as hell. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
But I could be convinced.
So let me explain to you why this whole nonsense about we can't afford it is bullshit. We can't afford it because we already are affording it. Okay? This idea that we can't afford universal health care, that we can't afford Medicare for all, let's say, single-payer healthcare system, is horseshit. In fact, the opposite is true. We can't afford not to have it.
Okay.
Okay? Right now, the United States spends more money than any other country in the world on healthcare. Double. Per capita. $10,000 per person is spent in healthcare in the United States. That's what it's costing us right now. That is astronomical. There's no reason we should be paying for it. Most Americans are one hospital bill away from poverty. Okay, so when this fucking rich guy sits up here and says, "Oh, we can't afford this thing, we can't afford that," we're already paying for it. What you mean by that is you can't afford it. And the thing is, what you really mean is you can afford it, but you don't want to pay for it. Mm-hmm. Instead, we have a system where, let's say 80% of the country is getting by one paycheck away from disaster, one medical bill away from disaster, with increasing co-payments and premiums and all that stuff, right? And then on top of that, there's just 20 million Americans who just don't have health insurance. There's 30,000 Americans that die every year because they don't have health insurance, because they get sick and they go, "Oh, you know what? I'm not going to go to the doctor," or whatever. There was a story just this week of a guy who he ate 5-day-old spaghetti. Dumb idea. 5-day-old that hadn't been in the refrigerator. He just left it sitting out and ate it 5 days old. And he got sick. And he died in his sleep in less than 10 hours after he ate it. because he got sick and he was like, well, I'm not going to go to the doctor. So yeah, he was pooping liquid. He was vomiting like crazy. He was going through all these problems and didn't go to the doctor, and he died in his sleep. Like, that's what people deal with, okay? So this idea that we can't afford it, we can't afford not to have this. Every piece of evidence, every country in the world shows us that single-payer healthcare is more cost-efficient than the bullshit that we have now. Mm-hmm. The only person it's less cost-efficient for is rich people like him. So, and then he says the same thing about government-paid college. Guess what? Up until Reagan, every college and university in the state of California was completely tuition-free. It's publicly funded tuition. And Reagan did away with that. We can't afford it. Right now, people are just going into debt. You have an entire generation of millennials who are just... there's $2 trillion in student debt now. Collectively. So we are paying for it already. So when one of these people sits up here in their freaking private jet, and he works for Starbucks, or he owns Starbucks, right? He's CEO of Starbucks, and he basically has extorted all kinds of money. Like, okay, to your minimum wage point, Seattle was trying to raise the minimum wage and trying to get Amazon to pay for some infrastructure improvements in the city. Yeah. And Amazon just threatened to leave, right?
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
Like, and so they actually passed a public referendum to increase some spending for something. I can't remember exactly what it was. And Amazon threatened, they paid for it by taxing Amazon, essentially. Taxing businesses, but Amazon's the biggest business in Seattle. And Amazon was like, we'll leave if you don't repeal this tax. And so they repealed it, and now, like, I think it was opioid treatment is just not going to get funded.
Oh, my God.
And these people and these are the people that are sitting here saying, we can't afford this. No. We can't afford it. You don't want to pay for it because you're a selfish asshole, and you want to preach and proselytize to the rest of us about how it's too expensive. What we have is too expensive. It's unsustainable. Yeah. And you only find out when people are banging on your doors with pitchforks. Yeah. And if you want to find out what that's like, keep going, because it's going to happen. How the fuck do I get out of this world?
Oh, did you get all the things?
No, I'm still missing one dragon and 46 gems, but I don't know how to get out of here. I'm stuck. How do I get out of here? Okay, so what do you think now?
I mean, I've always agreed with all that.
Okay.
No.
So fuck Howard Schultz.
Sure. Oh, yeah. No, totally. When you were saying that we already pay for it, it occurs to me that, like, I mean, I already pay for health insurance a little, right? Like, I pay a little bit of it.
We pay a lot of it. We pay all of it.
Well, we have HSAs.
Yeah, that's a savings account, and that comes from you.
Right, no, I know. So that's what I'm saying. So I pay for it already, right?
Right.
And if, like...
And by the way, the part of it that you don't pay for, that your company pays for, you're really paying for it because they're just paying you less, so they can pay your premiums.
Yeah.
If you didn't have that, they would just pay you more money.
No, I know. So it just occurs to me that, like, okay, we actually are already paying for health insurance. Like, we just paid it through taxes.
I know.
Right? Like,
and this is the thing. And they always do these scare tactics.
And we do this with school, but we do this with public school, right?
Exactly.
And that way everybody gets to go to school.
Yes. And so the whole thing happened. Bernie Sanders put forward his Medicare for All plan, and this Libertarian Institute economist, I don't even know if it was an economist, but anyway, he came out and he was from the Cato Institute, and he was like, and this is what got all the headlines. Bernie Sanders' Medicare All plan would cost $32 trillion, right? And that was $32 trillion over the next 10 years. That's what it would cost.
Okay.
And they were showing, like, here's how much taxes would have to rise if you wanted to pay for this and all this stuff, right? Now, here's the problem. Bernie Sanders took that report and said, hey, this actually proves, by the way, that we were right. Because that same report that showed that it would cost $32 trillion over 10 years showed that under the current system, if you add up what the federal government already pays, Medicare, Medicaid, VA, all that stuff, right? Yeah. Add it to what Americans pay in premiums, out-of-pocket expenses, copays, deductibles, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you add all that stuff up over the next 10 years, we're going to spend $34 trillion.
That's funny. Yeah.
So his thing was saying, like, hey, everybody was saying, like, look, oh my God, Bernie Sanders' plan is going to cost $32 trillion. I'm like, hey, that same study said it saves $2 trillion over where we are right now.
That's 12 zeros.
And 20 million people get health insurance that don't have it today.
Yep.
And by the way, Bernie Sanders' plan was more generous than the coverage we have today because it completely eliminates copays and deductibles and out-of-pocket expenses entirely.
You're just hurting me. It just hurts to hear.
But this is, and then the same thing. You mentioned it with public schools. I don't know what the hell to do here, so I'm leaving. You mentioned it with public schools. People are always like, "How are we going to pay for publicly assisted college?" I'm like, "How do we pay for publicly funded K-12? What are you talking about?" Like, this isn't a stretch, people. Like, this is the more cost-efficient way. We're reaching a point where the debt is so bad, and there's healthcare is such a bad condition. We're reaching a point where we can't afford not to do it. And so when one of these rich capitalist aristocratic, there's the word I was looking for, aristocratic douche nozzles gets up here and is like, we need to be serious. And publicly funded student, college tuition is just as bad and just as much of a pipe dream as the wall. That guy can get fucked.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, totally.
$70 billion a year. That's what public tuition would cost. That is how much we've raised the defense budget every year for the past 5 years that they didn't even ask for. Mm-hmm. We've given them $70 billion a year every year for the past 5 years that the Pentagon didn't even ask for.
Mm-hmm.
We could have already been paying for public tuition.
I'm hearing you, baby.
But instead, we're just giving it to defense contractors that don't even ask for it.
I'm hearing you.
And this fucker wants to sit here and say, we can't afford it. It's just as ridiculous as the wall. Get bent.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say to Howard Schultz.
Boo,
Get bent.
Howard Schultz. Boo, liar. Boo.
How dare you, sir?
You and Ben cannot. Fuck you both.
And also, by the way, can we please just not get another fucking billionaire as president? Like,
let's get another Kenyan.
Did we not learn? We should get another Kenyan.
Yeah.
Diversity is important.
Yeah.
Or no, you know what we should do? It should be AOC is going to win in 2020.
Ooh, what country will she be from?
So okay. So not only is she from the foreign country of Puerto Rico, but she's also only going to be like 33.
She's eligible, right?
No.
Puerto Rico's still eligible. Puerto Rico's American.
That was the joke, Jason.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I thought maybe it might actually be mainland or something.
No,
I didn't know for sure. But then Obama's from Hawaii, so.
Well, Hawaii was a state when he was born.
Right.
Puerto Rico's not a state. But still, they're citizens.
I'm there.
And also, I'm pretty sure she was born in New York, but she just had Puerto Rican parents.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the joke.
No, I'm there.
And also, no, she wouldn't be old enough by then. So that also was the joke. That not
40?
only is she a foreigner.
Is it 40?
35.
35?
Yeah.
2 years.
Well, no, but she's only 29 now. So she'll only be 31.
Oh, shit. I thought you said she was 33. My bad.
No.
Sorry. I don't know where I heard that number.
I said 33. I meant 31. I
understood.
said she was only going to be 33 in 2020.
Oh, sorry.
But actually, she'll only be
31.
31.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Better. It's prime.
Anyway, thank you for watching. If you'd like, go ahead and go over to youtube.com. Don't call me pretentious, and subscribe. We would appreciate it. We're getting some new subscribers for our Star Trek content. This is a PSA. If you're watching this, although more people watch Star Trek content than this, but if you're watching this and you're interested in the Star Trek content, up until now, we have been streaming live on Twitch.
Yeah.
After the episode at twitch.tv/don'tcallmepretentious.
To no avail.
Well, yeah, we haven't gotten a lot of traffic there.
Yeah.
But we have gotten more subscribers for the Star Trek-based content. So this week we decided we're going to stream on YouTube, and we're going to see how that goes out. So if you're looking for our stream tomorrow for the Star Trek review, it will be over on YouTube, youtube.com. Don't call me pretentious. Go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell. You'll get a notification when we go live. But this podcast, we will continue recording every Wednesday, 8 p.m. here on twitch.tv/don'tcallmepretentious. And then it will go up live on Sundays at 9 a.m. over on youtube.com. Also, be sure to follow us on social networks, twitter.com/@DCMPretentious and facebook.com/don'tcallmepretentious. And until next time, this is Paul.
Love.
This is Paul.
This is Jason.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.